Also makes it extra convenient for busy teenagers by scheduling classes at night, on weekends, during school vacations, and easy makeup schedule. 4-star rated and staffed with patient, experienced instructors. Levante's Auto School, 1877 Drive Ed, accepting Rhode Island and Massachusetts students.
Call 877 Drive Ed. Who's that?
That's Levante's Auto School.
And now, Levante's Auto School is certified by both Rhode Island and Massachusetts to teach the driver's training course over the Internet. No need to wait. Call now.
Danny's DNS TV and Appliances is ready to serve you at 158 Central Street, Millville. Danny's is a family business selling top brand names, TVs, and appliances. Danny's also features an extensive selection of air conditioners, including Frigidaire, Friedrich, and others. They also have in-wall air conditioners for small apartments, high-rises, and retirement communities. Most of today's air conditioners are whisper quiet, energy efficient, and contain special filters to remove allergens, bacteria, and room odors. Danny's DNS TV and Appliances at 158 Central Street, Millville. From Woonsocket, take a right at the Connector Road off Great Road. 508-883-5862.
Hi, I'm Dave Gobiel, the president of the Blackstone Valley Buy Local Group, supporting and promoting the independently owned businesses of our area. If you're not a member, I'd love a chance to sign you up. Message me at our Buy Local Blackstone Valley Facebook page or go to buylocalbv.org if you wish to sign up today.
Shop local first. All across the area. Shop here first.
This segment of the Coffee and program is sponsored by the Call newspaper.
The Call, Woonsocket's daily hometown newspaper since 1892, is still essentially a paper for the people. Our photographs record happenings that make news, and some will have historical significance in years to come, while others are intended to entertain or inform you of current events. They illustrate life's drama, which runs the gamut of humor to tragedy and everywhere in between. We are more than a reporter of daily news. Many readers continue to look to our paper for entertainment and relaxation offered by cartoons, comics, and other lighter features offered daily. In addition, we provide you with dates, times, and places of social event happenings throughout the community. Local sports covered daily by award-winning sports staff writers. If you're not subscribing to your local daily newspaper, you should. Call us today at 767-8522. Home delivery is just a phone call away at 767-8522. We take great pride in our publication and our sincere wish to serve you, our readers, at The Call.
Okay, it's Coffee and here on ON, AM, and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. Former Woonsocket Mayor Charlie Baldelli is here.
Hello.
Romeo Berthium is here as well.
And here I am.
Trump made the big announcement yesterday.
Yeah. What's that?
That there's this possible COVID-19
vaccine? Not a vaccine.
No, it's not a vaccine. It'll help you.
Plasma.
Yes, it'll help you if you have it. Convalescent plasma.
Okay.
And you would be, which is basically blood, which you would basically take this and you will be, and it will help you get cured. And there were people there from the FDA that said yes, this is going to work. And
Really?
now there's all these people from the left who say no, it's not.
Good timing.
But anyway,
Good timing.
Yeah, it's excellent timing.
Right,
and I
boy.
remember
Yeah.
back in the spring, and we're going back to April.
Yeah.
Maybe May, but I think it was April.
Yep.
Sitting at home watching 60 Minutes, they did the exact same story.
Yeah.
They were in New York City, talking with a bunch of doctors, no politicians. They said, "This is what we're working on. It seems to be working very well. We're taking the convalescent plasma from people that had COVID-19 and recovered, taking plasma from them and giving it to people that have it, and they're recovering." I said, "This sounds great."
Well, I have a neighbor, 92 years old. I may have mentioned it before on the show. He broke his leg, went to the hospital. They did surgery. Then he went to rehab, and he caught COVID. He got the plasma shot.
Did he?
Yeah, and he survived it, and he's completely recovered.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something to be said. And he was 92.
Did you see yesterday's Providence Sunday Journal? About
No,
the,
I did not.
About the Woonsocket couple,
I did
father
not.
and son who died hours apart,
No.
called Kindred Spirits.
Oh,
Ron Remillard and his son
really?
worked for the city as a heavy equipment operator.
Yeah.
They died from
COVID-19. Yeah.
within an hour of each other.
Wow.
That's sad.
And full-page story done by Mark Patinkin, who does
Okay,
great
I know Mark.
stuff.
Well, I know of him, of
Yeah,
course.
he's a
Famous
great writer.
columnist for
My
the
God,
Journal.
it's a really in-depth
Yeah.
story.
Wow.
Very,
when
very
did this
good.
happen? Recently?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
They
I
died
didn't
within
catch that.
an hour of each other.
Yeah.
Just about an hour.
That's
How
amazing.
old?
That's
How
amazing.
old were they? He was probably old.
72 and 40-something, I think.
Really? That's.
So the whole
Much
thing
fear.
now with the plasma is saying, they say, well, it's political.
I don't know. I have a feeling it's.
Yeah,
not.
I think if it's political, it would have come out like in October.
I'm trying to be objective about this because
Hey, if
of
it
my
works, it
feelings
works.
toward Trump. But you got to give credit where credit is due,
Yeah.
and that's the way I look at it.
So you'll be hearing a lot more about that.
Oh, yeah.
About this. Keep this. It'll be the new catchphrase: convalescent plasma.
Okay, and then
So that's what it is.
I
That's
thought
easy
of-
for you to say.
I know.
and I thought
Right,
of-
Romeo?
Absolutely, convalescent
Plasma.
Thank you. See, I had a hard time with it.
You get a passing grade on that, Romeo.
Well, thank you. Well, C minus, C plus, nothing outstanding.
So look for
Yeah.
for the Look, you'll hear about it probably at the Republican
sure.
National Convention.
I'm sure.
Look for the Democrats to shoot it down because we don't have enough testing on it. Or
Well,
things
Trump
like that.
did say, I think, over the weekend that they will find a cure for this thing right after the election, one way or the other.
Probably.
A lot of people feel that
You
way.
have young kids out there celebrating at all these universities, on the beaches and everything.
Hey.
They just transmit it to everybody.
They're sending them home.
They
Yes,
bring it- they
I
bring it
just saw
home
that
with
over the
them.
weekend. Northeastern University
Yeah, Boston.
said, if we catch any of you
Expel you.
having these parties and large gatherings, we're just going to kick you out of school.
Well, at this time of year, in a
Wow.
normal year, this is when the kids go back to school, right?
Right.
Late
Yeah.
August. And that's when they haven't seen each other all summer long, and they talk about their summers, and they party, and they
Yep.
party, and they party. So it's a normal situation. And I heard coming in this morning on another station that, a lot of the college kids are refusing to go home. Some of them are renting apartments off campus because they want to get together with their friends, even if they can't go to classes.
Who's paying for the rent?
Mama and
Yeah,
Papa.
Mama.
No, I'm
Got
sure.
it.
In some cases, I'm sure.
Well,
But-
the university, can't if they're doing that, can't kick them out of their apartment,
No.
but they can still expel them from school classes.
They can. But they could have parties in their apartments.
Well, now
as long
they
as
still
as
can,
long as
yeah.
they don't go to the actual campus.
Totally
But
irresponsible.
Yeah, but now you're
that's
going
college.
against state law.
college is exactly, but college isn't only learning in the classroom. It's a lot of other things. It's for a lot of kids. It's a rite of passage. They leave home for the first time and they're independent. That whole thing. I didn't have that luxury. I commuted. I was a day hop. And I had to get
Day
home.
hop?
I had to get home and work, so I could pay my tuition. Living on campus was like even
Unthinkable?
Yeah, and there were some people. Of course, there were. There were always people living on campus, and I befriended some people that lived in apartments near the campus at Providence College. So occasionally, I'd stay with them at night, but very seldom. I had to come home to work, and most of us did. That's how we. But today, you go to college, you take off. I mean, I have a granddaughter who goes to Roger Williams University, and she's living on campus. And I think they opened up. Somebody said that she told me that they were going to have classes, one of the few colleges around. But she's not really that far from home. She lives in Plainville, but she's, going to Roger Williams, and she's going to stay there. I mean, you can't commute, really. It's pretty far.
That's
Yeah.
at least an hour.
And if I remember right, your son went to Maine, right?
Yes.
And that's
He
pretty
didn't-
far.
he
He
didn't-
wasn't
he
going to
didn't
commute
commute
there.
either.
I mean, there are some well, you have to. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with staying on campus. It's part of the
But-
whole experience of going to college.
Now, my nephew just moved into Wheaton College,
Oh, yeah, that's a good school.
and they had a rule. The school had a rule
Yeah.
for moving in.
Yeah.
Every student was only allowed one parent to help them move in.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how
Come
do you
on.
decide which parent gets to come say goodbye to their
I know.
child at
That-
school?
yeah.
Well, they figured it out, and
That's exactly what happened to my
I don't
son.
know if they flipped a coin or whatever.
He couldn't go. Her mother went to move her in. He couldn't go because of that
Yeah.
same rule.
Now, he lives in Attleboro. Now,
He
Attleboro
does.
and Norton is on.
Yeah.
They border
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah, yeah.
But he has to live on campus.
Yeah.
Because he's a baseball player for the
Oh,
school.
all right,
so
okay.
All
Well, that
all
makes
athletes
sense.
have to live
Yeah.
on campus.
And by the way, there's nothing wrong. If I had to do it all over again, and if I could, of course I couldn't at the time financially, I would do it. I would stay on campus because that's the whole experience of going
Right.
to college.
Right,
Okay,
right,
I understand that. But anyway.
So, Romeo, speaking of teaching,
Yep.
state teachers in Massachusetts, they're rejecting guidelines calling for teachers to instruct from empty classrooms while the students learn at home.
I heard that this morning as
Now-
well. Because they're going to end up having to report to their classrooms.
Yeah, the teachers have to go to school, but the students don't have to.
Yeah. Well, they won't.
I'm like,
yeah.
Do you think
I'm
as a
like, why?
teacher you could learn
No.
remotely? I don't think you can.
This is one time I loved what I did for 35 years, and I kind of miss the teaching part. Other parts of the job I don't miss, like every other job. But the point I'm trying to make is, I'm so glad I'm retired now because I would have such a hard time working
Doing
in
this.
that environment. I would.
Yeah, I believe it.
well,
Yeah.
they're saying it's it allows the students to keep the feel of a classroom environment while they're learning at home. My daughter's not dumb. She knows she's at home. It doesn't really matter where the
Yeah.
teacher is.
Yeah, I know.
Now they also say that the teachers will now have more access to educational materials. Well, maybe yes, maybe no.
I
on
feel
that.
bad for all students, but I feel bad especially for the special needs students. I have a grandson who has autism, and he requires this one-on-one learning in person, and he's not getting it. And it's really affecting him, I think, and it's affecting thousands of kids that are in special ed. I really feel bad for him. And I feel bad for all the kids who are in that situation. I feel bad for all of them, but especially those kids, the special ed kids. They really need individualized personal attention that they're not getting. They're getting it from their parents, but
I look
they
at
need
it
it
this
from
way, Romeo. Right now, we live in a society where husbands and wives have to work
Oh yeah.
to make ends meet. Now
They
you're
do.
saying
Yeah.
one of them has to stay home with the kid.
How are they going to do that?
So how are they going to do it? How can they afford that? Right now
They
they need
can't.
2 incomes to survive, and now one of them has to stay home.
And some are lucky enough to be able to work from home, but a lot can't. And even if you work from home and yet also teaching your kids, that's going to be hard to juggle, I would think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But people have put themselves in that situation where they both have to work because they live higher than they would have if they would have only had one income, and now they're stuck. They have to. I mean, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. There are a lot of stay-at-home dads. Before COVID, the wife works. She makes more money than the husband, and that's fine, especially now in this politically correct society that we live in.
It's going to be a burden to everybody.
Oh, of course, it is.
I mean,
it
how
has
many kids,
been.
when you were a teacher for 35 years,
35
the best
years.
ever,
Yeah. Oh.
the best ever.
Thank you for that. By the way, I showed that to my kids.
So, yeah.
They said, "You were a teacher?"
They laughed.
No, they didn't.
Not only that,
They
it was
were-
the
they
best
were-
ever.
They were proud. And
But
thank you.
let me just say,
Yeah.
there were kids that didn't get the message. They stopped after class, talked to you, and say, "Would you please explain this?" Blah blah blah.
Yeah, yeah.
That intimacy between teacher and
The
student.
one-on-one.
Yeah, the one-on-one. It's
Yeah.
not existing. So
Yeah.
it doesn't.
And it wasn't only the material. A lot of people say, "What did you teach?" And of course, I always used to say social studies, history, taught English for a while. But I also taught students. I taught students, not only about history, but about life.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of them, you replaced their parents, basically. Some of them didn't have very good homes, and
Right.
they looked forward to talking to
Yeah.
special
That
person.
intimacy
Not
is
all of them,
lost.
but yeah.
It's
Oh,
lost.
absolutely.
But
So
you can
I-
always talk to Joe Callahan. He's the guy that knows. He's the guru.
He can
I-
give some good advice.
Oh, I can try.
Oh,
I mean,
sure.
I had a cousin. She just retired from teaching. She taught down in Louisiana for a while. Well, she taught in California. She taught in New York.
Wow.
And down
She
in
really made
Louisiana
the rounds,
for a
huh?
while.
Yeah.
She kept following her husband.
Okay.
And but there were times when she was like teaching 6th grade. Okay, it was supposed to be, I don't know, English. Maybe it's English. Okay, today
Yeah.
we're going to talk about manners and and it was how to set a table.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then later on, okay, we're going to go over personal hygiene.
Well,
Soap and deodorant and
You know
shampoo.
what?
All that stuff these kids weren't getting at home.
About life in general.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I remember some of the
like,
teachers
wow.
I had growing up. The ones I remember the most are the ones that taught us more about life than about history or French or social studies or
Is that
geography.
at St. Louis?
There were some there. There were some very nice nuns. There were some I didn't care for. And but there were many nice people that were in that profession and dedicated their lives to teaching. God, I mean, what they did, and for what? For money? No money. They would just, But again, like anything else, there were some people that weren't so nice, and it's like that in life in general, right?
I try to tell that to my daughter. I go, you don't have to like everybody you come in contact with.
That's true. I know.
You can be respectful and just.
You
Or
can
how
like them but not love them.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
Yeah.
or you can love them but not like them.
Right.
I have relatives like that. I love all of my relatives, and I don't like all of them.
I'm going to ask you a
I bet
question.
you have some like that too.
all right.
Well, yes, as a matter of fact.
What about the universal draft? With all these kids screwing around and all of that. Universal draft. You know what?
Oh, you mean draft everybody for 2 years?
Yeah.
For some sort of national service?
Yeah.
Not a bad idea.
I would like to see that altered a little.
Depends what they do, though.
I will, if you see kids that are like 15 and 16 and 17, and they're going in, the justice system can see them going down the wrong path. Why not give them that option? Hey, why don't you join the army or the other? And we'll
It doesn't have to be
teach you
the
a trade.
Army. It could be anything.
Well, yeah.
Work with a carpenter for 2 years, or teaching, maybe a teacher assistant, or work in a hospital. Do something for 2 years.
I was always a big advocate of voc schools.
Yeah.
Not everybody
Yeah.
is.
No.
Not every educational.
By the way, you can't call them voc schools anymore. That's
You
politically
can't?
incorrect. Oh no, they're career centers now.
You can't say vocational?
You can, but they don't like that. They like career and whatever.
Oh, career.
Current
and-
Like you were saying about political correctness.
Yeah, all right.
I mean, you put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, Charlie. You know, you call it what you want, but it's
Is that original, by the way?
But, no, but the vocational school system, all kidding aside, is a great system.
It is.
And I used to tell some of my students, that we used to look down upon some of those kids. Oh, we're going to college. Yeah, well, you know what? Years from now, those people that graduate from the Voc school are going to be carpenters, plumbers, and electricians, and they're going to make $150 an hour, and you're going to be looking for a job with your college degree.
I can't believe how much money my cousin makes. He's a plumber.
Yeah,
And he works for himself.
sure.
And
In business.
Incredibly busy
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
And makes tons of
Well,
money.
because the job is in demand. The average person
Constantly,
can't take
yeah.
a sink apart. Remember the old lady who dropped her wedding ring down the sink? She called a plumber, and he came over within a couple of hours. Took him about 10 minutes. He unhooked the thing underneath the sink and gave her the ring, and she said, "Oh, thank you." She gave him a big hug, and then she said, "How much do I owe you?" He said, $150. $150? You're only here 10 minutes.
Doesn't
Why,
matter.
I pay less when I go to my doctor for my annual physical. And he said, "I know. I used to be a doctor." Anyway.
My cousin,
Yeah.
who's slightly younger than me, but
Yeah.
he tells me he's so busy because there's nobody younger than him
Yeah.
coming up
Yeah, that's true.
to take over these vocational
It's a
jobs.
great. I call it a profession because that's what it is. I have nothing but respect for those guys.
Oh,
trades.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
see them work.
Tradesmen.
I'm saying, how do you know this? How do you do it? It's amazing. They take your furnace apart, they put it back together, and they charge you $500, but that's okay because they fixed it.
That's right. Now it's
Not
working.
everybody's
again.
academically inclined. Some
Oh,
are
yeah.
musically, some
Yeah.
are.
But you remember the day, Charlie, when you were going to school? They put the vote kids down. Those
They
are vote
always
kids.
did.
Yeah, they're in the shop. They're shop kids.
Shop kids,
shop
yeah,
course or
that's
something
right.
like
Well,
that.
you know what? Those shop kids are doing very well today.
Yeah.
They are.
All right, we're going to take a break on the Coffee and program, and this segment has been sponsored by the Call newspaper.
The Call is proud to announce a new and improved daily classified advertising program for our newspaper readers, subscribers, and advertisers. Blackstone Valley Values is a more affordable local buying and selling marketplace every day of the week. Lost and found, apartment rentals, items for sale, homes for sale or rent, and even job listings will now be even more within your reach. As always, if you have something you want to sell, call us today with your ad, and it'll appear in the next day's call. Be sure to contact us, though, before the 3 p.m. deadline. Furthermore, if you're a subscriber to the Call, you'll benefit from value member discounts and possibly some free advertisements with this new program offer. The Call continues to be dedicated to you, as we have been for over 120 years. Call us today and learn more about our new classified program at 767-8503. To subscribe to the Call and become a valued member, call today 767-8522.
Thousands of smart New Englanders trust Eston and Richard Insurance Agency for all their insurance needs. Because we're an independent agency, we're able to select the best policies from the best companies to create custom business and personal insurance programs. And your call is important to us, so you'll always be able to speak to a courteous member of our staff and never forward it to voicemail.
Eston and Richard Insurance is your solution to a no-hassle approach to insurance. Call us at 401-766-4200 or visit us at estonandrichard.com.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you something. I think you'll understand.
Just a reminder from your friends at ON Radio. ON Cares.
Alrighty, it's Coffee and here on ON Radio, and this is Joe Callahan here with Romeo Berthum and Charlie Baldelli. Something I forgot to bring up, guys, over the weekend. I don't know if you follow this at all, but Mike Milbury used to be a coach for the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, hockey, didn't he?
Yes, and he played for the Boston Bruins.
Yeah.
And he's an analyst now with NBC Sports.
Yep.
Well, he said something, and because of what he said,
Got himself in trouble.
he got himself in trouble. And he is now, well, he says he has taken himself off of the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs for the rest of the year.
Okay.
Now, this is what he said. They were talking with Brian Boucher. From Mount Guy.
Sure.
Talking about, because he talks to the players. He's up there in Toronto with all the players.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how they're all liking being in this whole bubble thing.
Yeah.
It's a team camaraderie and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike Milbury came out, and I got to paraphrase here. He said something to the effect of, and there's no women there to be a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
People went crazy.
Well, they got the
He's got to
groupies out there,
he's got to be fired. He said something bad about women, and people were trying to defend him. No, he was actually talking about the players who can't control themselves when there are women around,
especially if they're
and that's what
in that bubble for so long.
Yeah,
right.
And so but it kept going on and on and on, and that's when he said, "All right, I'm going to be a distraction from the game." So he said, "I'll step away." And of course, now other people are saying NBC, no, they suspended him or whatever. Okay, look at it any way you want. But I read the story. I had my wife read the story. I said, "Are you offended by what he said?" She said, "No."
That's normal.
I said, She goes, I don't get it.
No.
It's politically correct.
Too politically correct.
Hey, that's why I went to an all-boys school. I went to Mount St. Charles. And even PC, there were no women. There was a reason for that. And when they went co-ed, things changed. But that was after my time. But there were really no distractions until we got out of school. Then we'd go down to St. Clair and
women were,
watch all the girls come out of school.
My wife was one of them watching you on Romeo.
She was. All right, well. Anyway, no, really, it's true. There is something to be said for what that he said, what that guy said. And
so should he been let go?
Absolutely not.
I'm sure he'll be back next year.
He better be. What a waste of talent that would be.
I know. I think he's some people don't like.
He knows a lot about hockey.
He does know a lot. And,
not only did he play the game, but he coached
the
also,
game.
Now he's coming. Yeah.
But not anymore.
Do hockey players, and I haven't watched hockey in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Do they kneel during the hockey players kneel?
I've only seen one, and I can't remember which team he did it for. No, at the beginning of the playoffs, what the Bruins did is they all stood on the blue line and they locked arms.
Okay.
And the coaches and the people on the bench, they locked arms too during the national anthem, and nobody kneeled. I watched specifically last night. I think, okay, we did that for maybe the first couple of games. Okay, it's kind of going by the wayside.
Yep.
And now they don't lock arms anymore. They just do what they normally do. We just stand here for the two national anthems. They play the American and the Canadian because they're playing in Canada.
And I say just play hockey.
Now you see messages up on the board. It goes by that, and they say we skate for. I think this is funny. We skate for Black lives, or we skate for racial justice, or things like that. And I'm thinking, no, you don't.
But the
you skate because the game requires you to skate.
But the African Americans don't even care for hockey that much.
Some do.
And again, that's a generalization. I'll get criticized for that, I'm sure. But no. But generally speaking. I think it's gotten so ridiculous. And before we forget, I heard something this morning. You probably know this, Joe, and you too, Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
3 of the Patriots tested positive for COVID-19, and then they found out that the tests were false positive.
I did hear about that. Yeah.
How many times does that happen?
I'm sure it happens a lot more than you hear.
I would think so.
Yeah. It's kind of scary.
So it's I don't know if it's been happening down with I think it's happened with some of the baseball players.
Yeah.
And they get back the positive. Okay, everything stops. Yankees and Mets didn't play this weekend.
I know
because of that. And
that's right.
Oh, sorry. It's a.
Yeah, they were postponed twice.
The whole thing.
Well, we said that. We said that when they first started.
This is an abomination of the whole sport.
What's the record now for the Red Sox, by the way, Joe? Roughly.
Oh, it's 7-17. Maybe 8-17.
They're not even going to get 500, right?
Oh, no.
No,
500 would be great.
Well, they're not even going to come close.
Well,
And they won't make it. There's 24 games that they've played, and they play 60.
Yeah.
They're almost halfway through.
They did made one trade over the last
I saw
weekend,
that.
and we'll see if more come.
That young kid seems to be pretty good.
What team?
Verdugo,
What team got him?
Verdugo? What's his
Verdugo's he's really
Where's
good.
he going?
No, we got Verdugo from Mookie Betts.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, but we traded a couple of players to a couple of pitchers to
Was it Houston?
Philadelphia.
Oh, Philadelphia.
Went to
okay.
Philadelphia.
Okay.
And we got another pitcher and a pitching prospect in return. And it's funny when they mentioned, there's a trade with the Red Sox. I said any pitcher can go except for Evaldi and Martin Perez.
Okay.
Everyone else, see you later.
Yeah.
I don't care how long you've been here or what you've done. You can all go. And then when they said it was Workman and Heath Hembry, I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Go. Best of luck to you in Philadelphia because it's not working out here.
No.
So thank you. And one of them, is it Hembry? Maybe both of them have World Series rings.
I think one of them does, yes.
Workman did a great job in the World Series.
Yep.
I think he had a 4-0 record or something like that, or he had 4 saves.
But not doing well enough this year. Okay, see you later. Maybe we can get something better. And I think Workman came into a game in Philadelphia and blew the save.
Okay.
You know,
over
my
the weekend.
my softball league is still playing.
Is it? Good for them.
Yeah.
Wow. Talking about baseball, one quick thing. I think it was last Saturday when I do the show. I do the birthdays of famous people. And one of them was Carl Yastrzemski. He was born in 1939. 82? 81. Yeah, you're right. I can't count.
Jeez, you mean
But
I'm older than Carl?
I can't believe that my hero from my youth, baseball hero, is that old. I mean, not that that's old, Charlie. But it's not young.
About me. I mean, I've been your friend for years.
You have.
But you still tolerate me as a friend at 87?
You're an old friend, Charlie, and I don't mean that.
Old, right?
Okay.
Emphasis on old?
Well, no.
Well, guys, just to be careful. If you happen to head out to Springfield, Massachusetts, do you plan on going out to Springfield?
There's a casino there, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been there
MGM
once.
Springfield is out there.
Yeah.
Because police in Springfield, Mass. are looking for a man who allegedly gave out COVID hugs.
Oh.
The Springfield, Massachusetts Police Department says a man walked around a local Walmart out there in Springfield and forced hugs on people before telling them he has the coronavirus.
Oh,
he probably doesn't. So.
No.
A lot of sick people out there, right, Charlie?
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Officers say the man gave one hug to a cancer survivor, told him he now has COVID, and then walked away laughing. The suspect is being sought on charges of assault and battery, as well as making terrorist threats.
That's a sick thing to do.
Yeah.
Really, it is.
There's a lot of sickos
Especially
out
a
there.
cancer patient. Hey, you also have, you not only have cancer, you also have COVID-19. Good luck to you, buddy.
Have a nice day. Kind of thing.
Oh, that's awful. I'm not laughing.
I hope these people don't take this guy seriously.
I hope not. Yeah.
Although it'll probably not force you. Well, if you haven't been tested, I guess I should go get tested now because of what this nutcase said to me in Walmart.
Yeah, I've been tested twice, and it's not pleasant, but it's doable. I mean, it's nothing I'd want to do every day.
But why twice?
Well, first time was a week before a procedure I had.
All right,
and
that
then,
makes sense.
And then when I got to the place for the procedure, they said, "Oh yeah, you're going to be tested
Let's
again."
do it again?
That was a week ago. I said, "Well, why did I even have to go a week ago?" Well, we figured you'd probably test negative just to make sure, and they did it again, and I said, "Okay."
You know what?
Yeah, that was worse than the procedure.
It's a money-making thing.
That was worse than the procedure because they put me to sleep for the procedure. I didn't feel that, but this thing, they don't put you to
Did
sleep.
you get your flu shot?
Not yet.
Well, we got ours at CVS
Already?
this week, yeah.
Already? They're out?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you reminded me about getting things done. I'm going to do my, you're going to love this, my early voting in the Mass primary probably today. I'm going to do it today.
Started this past weekend.
Stop in Uxbridge.
Okay.
And I'm going to vote for I'm not telling.
The mail
I'm
ballot.
going to give you a clue. It's going to be a Democrat.
this-
It's going to be a Democrat primary.
Yeah, I don't
And
get
I have to
I don't
declare
have to vote.
myself. And you know what? What's her name?
Prediction. We want a prediction.
I think it'll be Kennedy, but
Okay.
it doesn't mean
Kennedy
I'm going to
over
vote.
Markey?
Yes, because Markey associated himself with AOC.
Oh,
and that's going to
what
hurt
a
him.
dumb move that was.
He claims he authored that Green New Deal with her.
He has
And he
said
probably
that,
did.
yes. I think he did.
I think Kennedy's going to win. I agree with Joe. Joe said it at the beginning of the summer when we first started these discussions on Coffee Ant.
Yeah.
He's following the path of his great uncle JFK.
Yeah.
He wants to be president
Joe said the
someday.
playbook. That's what you
The
said.
Kennedy
Joe.
playbook.
The grandson of Robert.
This is how you do it.
The great,
That's right.
the great nephew of JFK, right?
Great, yes.
Robert's
Robert
brothers.
Kennedy was his
Yeah.
grandfather.
Yeah. And good-looking guy, and
Yeah, I saw all the people out
popular
campaigning this
congressman.
past
I think he's going to
weekend.
win.
And so you're going to go vote early?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to vote
Oh,
this morning.
all right, good
if
for
I
you.
can.
I couldn't believe that Markey's been there 44 years in Congress. My
He
God,
was,
that's
but
a
he
lot.
was. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
he
Was he appointed after Kennedy died?
Wasn't he the mayor of some city?
He might have been, but I think he was a
Springfield, I think.
congressman too.
Yeah.
He was a congressman before he went to the Senate.
I can't remember.
I don't think he was elected. I think he was appointed the first time, and then he was elected. I'm almost positive, but again, I could be wrong. I don't have a problem with Markey personally. I just don't like his views. I know Kennedy and him are similar in
Very
their
similar.
views, but I don't know.
You heard it here
I'm not
first.
going to tell you who I'm going to vote for.
I think it was-
but, you
I
know
think-
how I feel about Markey.
I just think it was ill-advised that when Kennedy, Markey decided to go after Kennedy and his family and his wealth. I said, "Oh, that's the wrong tactic.
no.
Not in Massachusetts anyway."
The Kennedy name is magic
Oh,
in Mass.
yes,
It
that's
always will be.
It always will be, he's right.
And even this guy, what's his first name? Kennedy? I forget. Joe. His kids and his grandkids are gonna run someday. It's a dynasty.
They'll be his
I
Kennedys.
worked on a campaign. I had
Yeah.
a guy that
Yeah.
was a friend of mine in the legislature, John Skiffington. He
Oh,
was
sure. Yeah.
a funeral director, and
Yeah.
Patrick Kennedy ran against him.
And beat him.
Patrick Kennedy was a student at
Yeah.
Providence College.
Yes, he was.
Yes, I was working the polls for my good friend John
Skeffington, right?
Skiffington.
He was the funeral director.
Yeah, funeral
Providence.
director, and you
Yeah.
know what? The whole